Hello, I'd like to talk to you today about the first collective for May. Okay, the first collective for May means we're into 2025 pretty deep, but we're still in the beginning. And the subject matter is vigilance. Now, if you've ever seen me as a professional doctor, you'll often hear me teach frequency, duration, and intensity. Those are the three keys. There are others, but those are the three taught. Those must be there if you want to change life, physiology, anything. Frequency, how often, duration, how long, and intensity. Intensity is the quality. The quality. So vigilance. When I was, let me tell you a story. When I was a young uchideshi under a great master in Japanese martial art, so I'm his personal protege, I had to learn what vigilance really means. Vigilance is steady, focused activity, concentration, attention, purpose, and it's constant. You know, if you look at the sun, you can think of the sun as an example of vigilance because it never stops shining. The light is always pouring forth. That's actually the way the universe is. But to us, it seems like some things stop. My wife's mom just died. We had a cremation ceremony, and it looks like she stopped. But of course, she didn't. She's in the next phase of her journey on the other side. Nothing stops. So vigilance, you can think of vigilance as a quality of life, the life force. And the life force is all that is. There's no such thing as dead space. If something looks like dead space and you examine it with the proper instruments, you'll find that it's totally vibrating and alive. So that's all there is. Now, as you are going through your day or your life, you require vigilance. Life's purpose, as Eckhart Tolle likes to say, is to challenge you, challenge me, frustrate us. Because I want to put it me, I don't ever want you to think I'm some kind of exception. That's all a bunch of nonsense. That's what life is meant to do. And it's like a game. When we choose to come to this reality from the higher plane, when we choose that, the entire life, like 70, 80 years, looks like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Bhagavan has explained that. So we easily take on things that look like a game from there. We get here, and it's not a game. There's a lot of suffering and a lot of pain, a lot of worry, a lot of everything. So what you do is I always teach you, set values so you know what you want, what you need, and then each day, all day, be vigilant. You don't have to be grim, like Jim Rohn says. You don't have to be grim, but you have to be serious. You have to strive and put in the energy and the time. So the frequency is every day, Best is every day, all day. When I was in Uchideshi, the top Uchideshis, and I was the top. I was recognized all over the world. And I was able to maintain my focus on Kushida 24/7. I woke up concentrated on him. I went to bed concentrated on him. Everything I did. If I was at work, I still was focused on everything with him. And I did that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days for 8 years. And that's how I learned vigilance. Now, as an older man, as the leader of depth healing technology, that teaching and that training allows me to remain vigilant for you. I'm a service person. The best possible way to live life is to be of service. When you're serving others instead of just yourself, it makes you happy, makes you proud. It's a lovely feeling. That's what the world needs now. They put in the pandemic and all that crap to separate you. You go into a restaurant, they have that idiotic thing, a chair, and then there's a space you can't sit beside. All that nonsense is just meant to isolate people. A lot of the elderly died right away. They couldn't handle it because they were completely isolated. That's why we make prisons. Isolation drives people nuts, drives them to suicide, drives them into deep depressions. We're social beings, but it takes vigilance. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go into your mind, into the deep subconscious, and remove the things that cause your mind to wander, to give up easily, to just stay on the surface. See, vigilance, frequency, duration, intensity. Remember I said intensity is the quality? That's the depth. That's the depth. The duration is the length of the session that I do. For you, the duration is your entire life. Your entire life. To have the vigilance to live life. And as different fires come up, you put them out. Different fires come up, you put them out. I was in a car crash. I was crippled completely, and now I'm not. And I had to deal with it every day. I was all alone here, and my wife's in Norway. And I stay right on top of it. I still have a lot to do to retool my body. And I have the vigilance to do that. I've done it a few times, but you got to try, and you need vigilance. Cognitive dissonance will block you, hinder you, interrupt you. A lack of ability to focus the mind on a single task for a given length of time will hinder you. So the vigilance is every time you get distracted, come back. Stay on target. As Brendan Burchard says, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. But the way they've designed the modern world now, it pulls here, pull there, pull here, pull there. That's what, it's all by design. The top elite don't do that. They do not do that. The public, the collective does that. So their attention spans get weaker and weaker, tinier and tinier. And they are using imagery and languaging, which we call cognitive warfare, to instill programs of fear, lack, dependency, weakness, confusion. But the elite do not do that. They don't spend their time. They don't look at that stuff. They don't listen to that stuff. And they are locked on with vigilance, intensity, and duration on their goals, their objectives, and living their life. If you're spending time with the family, it requires vigilance not to get distracted. So that if your little child comes up to you, you're present with them. And then when you go to the office, you're present. When you're driving your car, you're present. When you're eating dinner, you're there. And you have to apply vigilance to make sure of that. Or as many people will phrase it, you have to show up. Not show up, fade out, show up, fade out, show up, fade out. So that's why I'm going to focus on vigilance. In 2025 now and going forward, you have to have vigilance. You got to have, if you're going to make it. Okay? So that's what the first collective is. And now I'm going to make a video about the second collective. Bye for now.